So ring ring.
Ring ring.
So what in the world are we doing here today?
Well, we are about to introduce our next episode.
Ooh, very much nice. Words.
Very much nice.
Very much
it's okay.
nice.
You got this. You got this.
I can do it.
It's episode 3. We're still learning. We'll get it. We'll get it one day.
Wait, episode 3. So we're so far in the future. I think we've done 4, haven't we?
We
Spoilers.
have, but this is episode 3. I know, spoilers. Come on, Patrick.
Okay.
So we did record our first guest episode, although it's a very different kind of episode than what we would normally do with a guest, even though we don't have a normal yet.
The new old middle normal. Yeah, totally.
This is such a confusing time-based introduction.
So right now I'm putting myself in the head of 2 weeks ago me-ish.
But when this comes out, it won't be 2 weeks ago you.
It'll probably be a week from now me. Or
Maybe.
so. Maybe. If it's ready, who knows? Edit, whatever.
But so we recorded a very fun and a very different kind of episode. Again, although we only have 2 episodes, so it's still like, we don't know that we have a normal. But
this is a great idea.
I know. This is going super well. We are very professional hosts who know how to do this very well.
Totes my goats.
Very much nice, I guess, is our new saying.
At least it's not harsh negative.
Harsh negative. No, it's the opposite. It's very much nice.
Very much nice. Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway.
Okay, so...
Okay. All right. Get a hold of myself.
So for the podcast, we basically went on a little adventure. I think you could describe it like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a. We did a escape room. It was an audio escape room with the Escape This podcast. And here shortly, Bill and Dani will introduce themselves and their podcast, and you guys should definitely give it a listen. It's really is so much fun to participate, and I've listened to several of their episodes, and they are a ton of fun to listen to. And yeah, I really, they have some great guests. They had Neil Patrick Harris on one of their episodes.
I was like, what? This is crazy.
Yeah, so definitely give it a listen. It's really fantastic. It's a great show.
And they're very professional hosts. They know how to do a good introduction. So we will probably let them introduce everything.
Indeed. So, hi.
Without...
Ring, ring. Bye.
Hi. Ring, bye.
We haven't merged into one person yet.
Ring, ring. It's me, Bill. Are you going to ring in, Dani?
I haven't talked on a real phone in years.
You have to ring before you talk on a phone.
Ring, ring.
There you go.
Wait, really?
Hi. Look, we're Bill and Dani. We're from Escape This podcast, and we've come on to run a kind of audio-only tabletop style escape room for you guys. So for listeners at home who may not have heard our show, it's just called Escape This podcast. Go listen to it. So we design, Dani designs.
That's me.
Escape rooms as audio-only games that you can play through. It plays like a text-based adventure or a D&D campaign, full of puzzles and story. I suppose there's probably people out there who might not know what an escape room is either.
Ooh.
Do you want to give a rundown of what an escape room is, Dani?
Oh, I'm pretty bad at that.
Oh, dear.
We believe in you.
Okay, so normally an escape room, it's a real physical location where you go, you visit these small business owners, and they put you in one of the rooms at their business that is thematically full of puzzles, and they quote-unquote lock you in, and you cannot get out of that room until you have solved all of the puzzles. And so what we do is just the audio version of that. So you get to imagine that you're locked in a place and stuck and trying desperately to get out.
Yeah, and they're full of character and story, and rather than just a whole bunch of puzzles in a row. And so we try and do that, and it's been going quite well. We've been going for a few years now, and had a lot of fun guests and a lot of fun stories. We have a few arcs where we have 10 escape rooms in a row with a connected story between all 10.
That's not something that you tend to find in many physical escape rooms.
Although some.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a couple.
But yeah, so we knew for a while, and we thought we'd come on and run one for you guys so that you can try and solve puzzles and prove to your audience how smart you are.
We're not sure how well that's going to go, but we're going to try.
And like, what's your experience with real world escape rooms so far?
I have done maybe 2. One was successful and one was not.
Excellent. So this is the tiebreaker. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay, because these rooms that we do, we don't cut you off after an hour, so there's a 100% success rate.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Oh, great.
Oh, good.
Because that'd be a bad podcast episode otherwise.
Might have to drag us across the finish line potentially, but hey, Well, much appreciated you guys coming on. Thank you so much for that wonderful explanation. I may let you talk some more and maybe tell us a little bit about the escape room that we're going to do today, or unless you had something else you wanted to bring up or plug for your
we
podcast.
can give you a good rundown. The room we're going to do today is it's sort of the bakery room. I believe the original episode title for this, when we first ran it, was called "You've Lost That Oven Feeling," which was quite fun. But it's it's a fun room. It's got a pretty, as far as our rooms go, a fairly grounded setting, just in a normal bakery, rather than swimming through the human body in a small submarine.
Yeah, it's also the fun of doing the podcast version. They don't have to make sense.
You can't be quite extreme, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah. But we ran this, season
5,
so
episode
fairly,
3.
not
About 6 months ago.
too long ago. We actually ran this on our show with a single person playing. And with a single person playing, it turned out to be quite a difficult room. So I'm hoping with the two of you together, you'll just smash through it. It'll be easy. You'll be done in 10 minutes. It'll be great. But look, it's a really fun room. It's a nice sort of grounded concept. The other thing to point out is there's no real reason that I'm here. Dani will be running the room for you. I'll just be sort of hanging out to maybe give some hints, maybe just make some jokes, and I don't know, maybe just check Twitter or something.
I'm cool with some commentary. That's totally fine.
So jealous.
Bill's going to live tweet this for us.
Hopefully
about
our
how
conversation
bad
won't
we're
be
doing.
that painful. Hey, all right, so guys, we're running this escape room, and my goodness. Oh, no, they followed me on Twitter. Uh-oh.
One other thing about this room that maybe you'll find interesting is that for this one, and for a decent handful of our rooms, the actual eventual goal of this one isn't escape, like many escape rooms obviously are. This one has it's got another in-room goal that you're trying to achieve instead, which will be made clear to you right at the beginning.
Okay, I was kind of curious. It's like, will we know what this goal is, or if we just fall into it and it's like, yay, we win $1 million too. Congratulations. Very interesting bakery. I would think if they hid that in an oven, they wouldn't need to have a bakery, but I don't know. Business
Now
may
we're
not be
hoping
my
this
forte.
isn't imaginary then.
I know, right?
I mean, if you hide your $1 million in the oven, there's clearly a very good chance that it's not going to be there tomorrow.
That's true.
It's going to be a very sad story.
Oh, dear. It's a tragedy.
All right. Well, I think we can probably get straight into it if you guys are ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm happy to give you your introduction to the room, and that will include a description of what you see. So with your pen and paper in front of you, you may want to make some little notes, do some little drawings, that sort of thing.
Oh, and if you're listening along at home, play
the
along.
same?
Try and go grab a piece of paper and a pen. Make your own notes. Prove that you're smarter than, well, at least Patrick.
That's not a high bar to clear. I'm the talker.
There's way too much pressure on me now.
Listen to Becky as she solves every puzzle.
No.
And here's another one for Becky. And another one for Becky. Okay. Well, Patrick does talk a lot, at least. At any rate.
Not
All
the
right.
first time we've had dynamics like that. All right, let's get into the bakery. You've had some difficult jobs in your life, but none of them has scratched the surface of the layers of pain that come with being a baker. It's not just the fact that you have to get up before sunrise every workday. It's not the pain your arms are in after a whole morning of kneading dough. It isn't even the customers who are weirdly picky about bread in ways you didn't even know existed. It's about having David as your boss. And, well, it's also a little bit about having Ace as your coworker, but Ace is just lazy, not horrible. David is a nightmare. No days off, no holidays, no sick leave, even though you're dealing with food. Ew. And whenever you work together, it's a non-stop flurry of shouting, grumbling, and glaring. You don't know what you did, but he hates you. But what can you do? You need this job. But one Monday afternoon, right before closing time, you notice something odd. While David is taking a break and Ace is taking a nap in the back, you take a seat in front of the work laptop and do some work on the accounts. David usually does this, but always complains about how much he hates it, so maybe if you do it today, he'll have one less reason to yell at you tomorrow. Only while you're scrolling through the numbers, you notice a couple of things that strike you as strange. Like, why does this say you just got your mandatory 6-month raise? You were never given a raise. And is that what the official records say your wage is? It's not even close. And there's a whole section here about some big expensive equipment repairs, but you know absolutely that those repairs were never done. Yet these are the numbers being sent to the accountants, filed to the tax office. Where has that money actually gone? You hastily log off, and not a moment too soon. David returns from his break, sweeps up the laptop, and announces he's going home for the evening. Not long after, Ace wakes up and leaves as well. You're the last one here. Maybe you should take this chance. If David is stealing cash from the bakery and from you personally, you should find out where he's hiding it. You know this shop like the back of your hand. So from here is where I usually encourage drawing the room out, which I would normally say is draw a rectangle with a door in the south wall. From the door, there are 2 tables, one to the left and right, each with 2 chairs.
I am an artist.
I hope you send us your pictures.
Oh, Lord have mercy. My notes
I
along with
always-
People are going to see
I always
this.
ask, and we get surprisingly few guests willing to do that.
I'll send it, but you will don't have a drink in your mouth whenever you take a look.
I'm curious how ours will compare, Patrick.
Oh, well, your handwriting is considerably better than mine, so we'll see.
I'll send you back my image from when I created the room so you can compare, and you'll feel better about yourself.
Okay, I will take your word for it because I'm not convinced. So you did say 2 tables and 2 chairs. Two chairs on each table?
at each table.
Okay,
Yep,
gotcha.
exactly.
All right.
Hanging on the side walls are large menus, one for the sweet food, one for the savory.
Does it matter which?
Nope.
Perfect.
Then, separating the customers from the workers' area are 3 long, low glass cabinets full of food. One of the cabinets has pies in it, one has sweets, and one has rolls and scrolls. Apparently, Bill and I disagree about what constitutes a scroll.
What is a scroll?
Scroll?
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
Okay, all
There's
right.
plenty of time for description of specific objects.
Oh, I am hearing some foreshadowing.
I also feel like I might be
In the
hungry
back.
after this.
Oh, yeah.
Good thing I just ate.
In the back, over in the right corner, there are staff lockers. Over in the left area, there is the slicer and the wrapping station. In the middle, separating all of this, is a long baking bench with 2 huge shelves of bread on each side. And an industrial oven at the back. And that's about it. I guess to find that money, you may just have to search everything.
All right. Where do you want to start, Patrick?
Let's see. Well, it's a pretty silly and mundane kitchen, it looks like. So
It's totally innocent.
yeah, exactly. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Anyway, well, I think the obvious spot to start would be, let's check out those lockers. What do you think?
All right. Can we get into those?
Sort of. So you go up there. You weren't actually given your own locker. There are only 2, and the left one is David's and the right one is Ace's. Both of them you could get into if you had the 3-digit code to get into them.
Oh.
Okay.
Each one requires a different 3-digit code.
I'm wondering about these tables. Do they have any drawers or anything?
The tables
anything on them?
out near the door, they...
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's take a look at these tables. They're a
idea.
bit strange. They're a very unpleasant color and a very impractical shape. So they're lime green, and they are huge fat cylinders.
Like a barrel? Like you're sitting on barrels,
mean-
kind of, sort of?
Well, that's the table part.
Okay.
Like the chairs, they're another matter. But yeah, each of these tables currently has an empty plate sitting on it. You happen to know that these plates are not regular ones. They're stuck to the tables because these are not where customers actually sit. They're just for the window displays. Every morning, Ace sets up some food on these plates, and they sit in front of the windows, supposedly tempting passersby.
I'm curious how successful that is because the food would start to get cold after a while. I don't know. I'm not sure of this guy's business decisions. Although, maybe while we're investigating.
Really harsh on David.
I'm sorry. He's mean to me, so I don't know. Or us. Both of us. At any rate.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're the two-headed employee. Maybe that's why he's not so comfortable with you.
Fair enough.
It all makes sense now.
Can we move the table? Can we check underneath it? Is it affixed to the floor?
It's not a fix, but they're quite hefty. It doesn't seem like anyone would very easily get anything under there.
What about the
So-
chairs? Are they attached?
Let's just go with no. Oh, okay. So the chairs, these ones, let's say yes, they are attached.
Okay.
They are. Oh, they're pretty cheap. They're not even. These ones also. They're not even chair shaped. They are big rectangular prism shaped blocks, and they are a gross baby pink.
Ugh. Lovely. So
Interesting decor.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
okay.
anyone who actually walks past the bakery, they're probably not looking at that decorative food on the plate.
Like, that's a nice looking croissant, and oh my, pink chair. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. What do you want to check next? Because I see a pink and green. That's an interesting set of colors. I don't know. I wonder if there's a greater purpose to that.
is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do with that yet, though, but I am like, that is most interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We're pretty close to the menus.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anything intriguing about them.
Absolutely. Which one would you like to look at? Savory or sweet?
Let's
Let's go
start-
with savory.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Or were you going to say the other one?
I was, but that's okay. We'll probably look at both of them.
We'll
Yeah,
do
you'll
dessert
look at
after.
both of them.
We're totally in sync
Yeah,
here.
you'll go in order.
Perfect.
All right, so this savory menu, it's a decent sized board and it tells you all of the various pies that the bakery has available. And Bill is about to send you an image of this menu. And when you've got it, just tell us a bit about what you see.
Okay, so savory menu, we have pies. We have beef, chicken and cheese, curry, lamb and potato, Mexican chicken and rice, mushroom and leek, potato and leek, and satay.
Satay.
Thank you very much. Lamb
I
and
say
peanuts.
satay.
Oh, whatever. Okay, fine. Everyone's right.
Perfect. Satay. I have resisted the urge to use a very poor accent there. I hope you're proud of me.
It's like, how regional is satay? Is that's got to be a thing that goes beyond Australia.
Yeah.
We didn't even invent it.
No.
What is satay?
Like peanut sauce.
Oh, okay. Satay lamb and peanut. Okay. Interesting. Becky, were you aware? You're more culturally savvy than I am, potentially.
Oh, I mean, I'm allergic to peanuts, so I know it as a sauce
Nice.
I should never eat.
Fair enough.
But I've
Good
heard
call.
is delicious.
Nah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So this is when I heard pies, I was thinking sweet pies, but these are all
Of course.
like
Yeah.
a pot pie style. Potentially.
Welcome to Australia.
Yeah,
Indeed.
for
Get out
us,
of here, sweet pies.
you can have an apple pie as a sweet pie, but beyond that, just your standard pie is always meat or thereabouts.
We recently discovered an Australian pie place near us, which has
Oh, wow.
delicious pies, and they're very, very good.
Do you have one
not surprised.
with mushy peas?
What?
You get that something like Harry's
Ooh.
Cafe de Wheels does that.
Really?
Yeah. Mushy peas on a pie.
Only
On it?
mushy peas,
That's
or there's like
no,
other
on top
things?
of a beef pie.
Oh, on top.
What?
Oh, okay.
What is this monster that you're describing?
This is pies.
I mean, it sounds kind of like a shepherd's pie, sort of. I mean, because there's peas and stuff in
yeah,
shepherd's pie.
peas are like potato.
Anyway,
There you go, savory pies. It's a cultural exchange.
so anything stand out on this savory pie menu to you, Becky?
The only thing I'm thinking is if we're looking at where did money go, maybe we'll discover something weird about ingredients later.
Ah, that's a good call.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not quite sure yet. I'm just taking it in.
It's all alphabetical, which is interesting to me. That's not a normal way to
Oh,
arrange
yeah,
a menu.
I didn't even notice that. Huh.
Maybe it's the easiest way to make lists of things in escape rooms without people assuming there's an ulterior motive.
Fair enough. I wasn't trying to dig too
A
deep. That was the
little
only thing
nice
that stood out to me. Yeah.
A little helpful hint there for us, maybe.
I look, I've got to be perfectly honest. I don't 100% remember if there is meaning to the order, but if it's alphabetical, then it's likely just because I didn't want to accidentally put a secret code in it.
Maybe.
Oh, okay. That makes sense, actually. It's like, okay, it's like, oh, this clearly spells David. And you're like, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, no. No, it doesn't actually say that.
But the lack of secret code is making us think, is there a code?
All right.
Well, shall
Anything
we?
else that you want to look into?
If there's not anything else there, maybe let's gander at the sweet menu and see if what stands out there, if anything.
Good
All right,
idea.
let's do it.
So there's a whole variety of amazing sweets at this bakery, and you are about to receive the menu of those.
Oh, look at all of these. This one is not alphabetical. Hmm.
Ooh.
All right. Becky, would you like to take this one?
All right, so we have a sweets menu with pies we are more familiar with. There's an apple pie, grape and berry pie, a bunch of cupcakes. Should I be reading all of this?
Up to you.
Okay. Well, we've
if you'd
got a
like,
mixture
you can take
of,
those images and I can send
Show
you links
notes.
for them. You can have them in your show notes so people can see them themselves.
That's
that
a
is
great
actually very
idea.
useful. I will not read all these then. We will add them to the show notes, but there are a whole bunch of different kinds of sweet pies, cupcakes, some tarts, a vanilla and caramel pudding, an almond bun, a toffee bun, Oreo ice cream, banana and peach smoothie, and then a whole bunch more cakes and ice creams and just many delicious items.
Is it bad form to start eating while recording?
Yes.
If you're really, if
Famously.
you're hungry, you can have a snack.
I'm not
Go for it if
hungry,
you're
but my
hungry.
mouth wants all of that inside it.
Too bad.
I know. I was like, I'm just getting so hungry reading all of these things. I like how the last item is yogurt. After like all these amazing desserts, it's just yogurt.
Just yogurt. Just now, is it it's spelled interestingly. Is that an Australian thing? Yogurt? Yeah.
I think that's just the Australian
okay,
slash
all right.
British.
Oh, do we spell it differently? With the H in it?
Yes, with the H in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was curious if that was
The
intentional.
Queen's English.
No, yeah, fair enough.
Okay, perfect. The only thing that stands out to me on this, which potentially is, so I see two pies, and I see two cupcakes, and I see another pie, then I see a tart, then a pie, then two tarts, and pudding. So I'm seeing it; they're not grouped together; they're all jumbled around, and that doesn't mean anything right now, but it potentially could. I would think.
It is kind of a strange way to order them.
I would think all the cakes.
It is
would be in
neither
one other way.
grouped nor alphabetical. Is there any pattern to it? Like two.
Oh, look at you! Yes.
Unless we're reading into things again way too much too early.
I definitely want to circle back to this, but I think you are on the right track there. So, yeah. Because
All right, we'll keep this in mind for later.
We need two sets of 3 numbers
All right.
for lockers. So, okay. All right. Let's move on then. What else do we want to look at?
Well, just physically closest to us are these the display, or not the displays. What do you call them again? The where all
the
items are
glass
held?
cases.
The
Of
glass
displays.
cases.
food.
I
mean,
agree
they
with
are
displays.
displaying.
I guess okay.
The
I was just
counter
thinking of the
displays.
very
Yeah.
oddly colored displays at the front of the store.
Yeah.
Is that where the
Yeah,
rolls
I've
are
already
at?
totally forgotten what they call them.
And the scrolls, which
Yeah,
I'm
so
still
this
curious
has
about.
Yeah, there's one case of pies, one case of sweets, one case of scrolls and rolls.
Scrolls and rolls. Okay.
Which one first?
I want to know what these rolls and scrolls are.
Okay.
Okay, so these are basically long cylindrical shaped pastries that
Oh.
have stuff built into them. So when you bake them, you just start out with a rectangular piece of dough. You put whatever bits and pieces. Like I feel like olives are a popular one.
roll
You
them
stick
up.
in them and then you roll them up.
Okay.
Okay.
But the thing is, these are your least favorite thing about all of the food in this bakery. The recipe for them is completely messed up somehow, and David won't let you change it. And after a day, they go rock solid. And even though they're all the same flavor, they've been separated onto 3 distinct shelves.
What do we see on the shelves?
So they all look exactly the same, all of these scrolls, but for whatever reason, they have definitely been distinctly separated. Like there's room on all of the shelf, like there's room on a single shelf for all of these things to fit, but for whatever reason,
And they're
they've
rock
been
hard.
separated.
Can we like?
You Yeah.
do anything with them? Can we like maybe pick them up and I want to whack them against something, but I'm thinking that's probably not the correct method.
You're more than welcome to do that.
Okay, let's
Oh.
gently wrap it on the side of the counter, maybe.
All right. So you take one of the ones off the top shelf of these scrolls and you give it a bit of a tap, and it's definitely getting pretty solid. It's not great. It has a little bit of flexibility left to it.
Okay.
If you move on to the ones on the second shelf, it's all like you have to give it quite a wrap to make any impact. It doesn't even notice. It's not really moving.
The second
If you
shelf
move
is
to the
harder than the first.
Yes. And if you
Okay.
move to the bottom shelf, it like the force when you try to hit it on the table, it like shocks back into your hand. It is so solid.
It's like an iron bar.
Your hand will break before it does.
Okay, noted. Is there anything standing out to you there?
I mean, I'm curious why they're separated, and we're looking for 3 numbers, and there are 3 distinct shelves, which makes me wonder if there's something hidden in these.
Oh, should we examine the shelves?
The shelves themselves aren't very interesting.
Fair enough.
All right.
So something that stands out to me is we got these rock hard pastry bread things, and we have a nice little slicer table over on the other side of the room, and I'm kind of curious if there's something worthwhile inside the bread.
Yeah, I was also wondering, can we open them up somehow?
Mm-hmm.
Can we take them to the slicer? And,
All right, so you go over to the slicer. Now, this is your standard bread slicer, so it's sort of set up to put a regular rectangular loaf in rather than one of these.
Okay.
So the way these normally work, you put the completed loaf of bread in, you set the slicer to the thickness you want, and then there's a lever on the side that you pull. I mean, you've never actually gotten to use this slicer yourself because it's the one thing that your coworker Ace really, really loves doing. Like every morning when Ace comes in, they run straight over to that slicer, and David has to then yell to set up the displays first. But the thing is, at the moment, there's something stopping the lever from moving. Like there's a locking mechanism to it. You didn't even know that was a thing, so Ace must unlock it when they arrive and lock it when they leave.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, you can't actually see a lock.
Oh.
You can't. Yeah, you
So
can't
it's
see
just
anywhere to
locked.
input a code, a key spot. Yeah, it's just somehow locked.
Okay.
You know when you get in a car and you try to put on your seatbelt and it's locked in place.
Yeah.
It feels like that.
okay.
Very frustrating, because nothing is more frustrating than get into your car, go to put the seatbelt on, and just like yanks back. Like, excuse me. Yeah. I am
It's like
familiar.
a betrayal.
It is. It's like I just want to go to work. Can you like let me? Thanks. Okay, noted. So it won't give at all. There's no movement to the slicer at all at this point.
It definitely won't do any slicing.
And if we look at it more, there's nothing to indicate any reason it would be locking
No, you can't
that
see
we can
it.
tell.
No.
Okay.
Okay. The only thing left that we haven't looked at is the oven and the little centerpiece. Correct? The center shelving and oven. Or
And
did we
the
look at
other foods.
Oh.
Yeah, there was
Oh, yeah,
also display
we totally
cases of
missed the-
pies and sweets and,
sweet.
things.
And
Oh, yeah,
there's
we just looked at
actually
the menus,
one
not-
other thing.
Yeah, we looked at I forgot we looked at the menus, but not the food itself. Do you want to look? Do you want to look at the oven first?
Wait, before we leave the slicer, since Ace loves this one so much, if he were to hide something, I feel like it might be here. Are
be.
we able to...
David and Ace are in on it together, you think?
Well, if Ace has a locker that we need numbers for, and
Ah,
Ace loves this slicer, if he were to hide numbers somewhere, maybe it would be somewhere around the slicer?
could be.
Huh.
What is? There's a wrapping station by the slicer as well. Maybe there's something to
true.
do with. Can we examine the wrapping station?
Yeah, absolutely. So this just has a whole bunch of plastic and paper wrappings for the loaves of bread and other foods. And it's also got little boxes of 3 different kinds of twisty tie things for tying up the bags.
Okay.
And the way that you differentiate them, they are different colors. The one of the boxes is pink, one is blue, and one is green. And each one is labeled. The pink ones are labeled yesterday. The blue ones are labeled this morning. And the green ones are labeled this afternoon.
Okay.
Okay. So something that stands out to me is that we have a green table, and we have green twisty ties, and also pink twisty ties, and a pink chair. I don't think that is a coincidence, but I don't know what it means.
We don't have a blue item yet, though.
We do not, but I would wager that there's probably something blue either in the oven or on those pies. Or
Well,
around the
maybe we
pies.
Maybe we should finish checking everything else first, then?
Brilliant deduction.
Thank you.
I told you she's a smart one.
All right, where to next?
The wrapping station.
That's what we just looked at.
That was all there was at the wrapping
Oh,
station.
that was at the wrapping station.
Yeah.
Never mind. Ignore my comment.
Perfect.
Patrick's going to retract that smart comment.
No. No.
Okay.
I'll edit it out and we'll maintain and it'll be fine.
The oven.
So you have to say something smart to follow up.
3.14159 is pi.
I think you just solved the whole room.
Oh,
I think you
is
just
that the
solved maths.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Okay.
God, I hope the locker combination isn't 314.
Mind
I
blown.
was gonna
Everybody's. I've already deduced.
I was going to say we should go to the oven next. Maybe we should go to the pies next, since you just figured out pie. Thanks for that laugh. Felt really real, Patrick.
It was. I was like puzzling it out. I was like, that's good. That's great. Anyway, let's go check out the pies.
Okay, so the glass door to this pie cabinet opens freely, so you can see all the pies in there. They're untouched after a pretty slow day. You can't tell at sight which flavor is which. Annoying, Ace is supposed to label them, but you do see a handwritten sign in front of the pies that David put out earlier in the day. It says, "Sorry, no single flavors available."
Oh. Interesting.
Can we sample the pies?
You can certainly sample the pies. It's not great business, but they're stealing your money, who cares?
Exactly. Can I take a bite of the topmost pie?
Yeah, you do so. And before your mouth even registers the flavor, your nose has got a good hit of what this is. You've picked the satay pie.
Ah, okay. Satay.
Oh, thank goodness you tried it first, Patrick.
That could be dangerous.
Yeah, indeed. It's like, oh, dear. Okay, so satay. Perfect. How many pies are here again? Or did
There
you
are
say?
20 pies in total.
20 in total.
Okay.
Okay.
And no single flavors.
Well, there are multiple single flavors on the menu. Beef, chicken, curry, lamb, mushroom are all single flavors, but the rest are multiple flavors. Again, I'm trying to bring things together, but that's the only thing that stands out at the moment. That was the savory. Is there? You said there's also a sweet case. Well, is there anything else we need to check out while we're here?
Yeah, there is a sweet case.
All right, can we check out the sweet case?
Yeah.
So the main door to this sweets cabinet opens quite easily, revealing all of the tarts, lamingtons, cupcakes. Lamingtons? You have lamingtons?
Lamingtons
No,
are
I've-
very Australian.
I've only heard of them through an Australian YouTuber, but I don't actually know what they are.
It's like
They
a
are
little
they're a
spongy
small
cake with
square of
coconut
sponge cake
and chocolate.
covered in chocolate and then rolled in coconut.
That sounds
pretty good.
fabulous. Yeah, that sounds.
Sometimes
really
they have cream and jam inside,
Ooh.
They're pretty nice.
Especially-
Man, I could go for a Lamington.
good. Especially the
but they're
cream.
messy. They're super messy.
That sounds
We are
delicious.
all going to be having snacks after
Oh
this.
my God.
Yeah, so that's all.
Yeah. We're doing our grocery shopping right after we finish this. It's a
It's
terrible
got to
idea.
be terrible.
Oh
There's
dear.
going to be
Make
so
sure
many
you eat
pies and
beforehand.
sweets in your shop.
Oh, there's a Baker's Delight just around the corner.
Ah.
Okay.
Not
Go on.
helping.
Anyway,
No.
so you can reach all of those things just fine, but there's a second door to the shelf down the bottom of the sweets cabinet that's
Okay.
padlocked, because inside that is a birthday cake. There is also a handwritten sign out the front of the shelf facing the customers, which says, "Sorry, no double flavors available."
Okay.
It's written with that inflection. They've got two lines underneath double.
Just
No,
so we know.
Double flavor.
What stands out to you about that, Becky? Anything?
I'm looking at the sweets menu again now. So no double flavors.
No grape and berry. No mango and peach. Rosewater and lime. Huh. Oh, so I wonder if you eliminate the ones that have double flavors, what that leaves us with.
I was thinking we have 3 cases, maybe with 3 different numbers, but the number of things left in this case will be more than a single digit, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. Let's see. All right, so if we have on the sweets, we have 1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't even remember
5.
the solution to this, but I think this is good.
6, 7, 8. We have 8 that are double flavors. 8 double flavors.
Okay.
So we have 8 double flavors. So let's look at the savory menu. This one there are no single flavors. So we have
There
here.
are.
How many? 1, 2.
I've got 5.
Correct. 5.
That's what you got.
Yeah. Okay. So we did not examine the. What number was coinciding with the scrolls? There was 3 shelves, and we have 20 pies. No. I'm mixing my notes up here.
But yeah, there's no scrolls menu.
Yeah, no scrolls menu.
There was just 3 distinct shelves.
And there wasn't even
so
a
I might
sign
go.
out the front of them.
Yeah.
Is there only one roll or scroll on each of these shelves, or are they each filled with many of?
There are a couple on each of them.
All the same flavor.
Yes, they're all the same.
The one the satay. They're all satay.
What's a good scroll flavor?
I don't know,
Oh,
like cheese and olive or something.
cheese and olive.
It's disgusting.
Yummy.
No.
That was very sarcastic. Oh man. Okay. All right. So we're missing a.
You're on the right. You're on the right track with the menus.
Okay.
Stuff.
Okay.
Like that was good.
Okay. Cool.
Nice. We're doing it, Patrick.
Yay! All right. So, I'm looking at the sweets menu. Is there anything that has more than 2 flavors? Did you notice that? Let's see.
I don't think so.
Okay. That's just something that's like entered my mind. It's like that's not common in desserts, but it's like I wonder. Okay.
Put this together with the thoughts that you had earlier about this sweets menu.
Okay. So,
Like the things that you noticed that were odd about it.
how many things are on the sweets menu? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
A lot.
30. There's 30 total menu items there.
Oh wow.
So, there's 8 double flavors, and the rest are not. 8 and 22. So, 822 or 228 might be a potential combination for something. Would you like to try that?
I have another idea, but we can try that first.
No, what's your idea? Tell me.
Well, I'm thinking we have a number for the pies, which is 5.
Okay.
A number for the sweets, which is 8.
Mm-hmm.
And for the rolls and scrolls, either the 3 for the 3 different shelves, or 1 since they're all one flavor.
Oh, that's
And that would be 3 numbers right there.
okay. I like your idea. I mean, we can try it on both lockers, but I wonder if there's a particular one that it coincides with, if there's a reason for it or not. Have we looked at everything first before we start getting into the
Actually,
lockers?
haven't.
We have not. Okay.
The oven and the bread shells and the baking bench, I think, are left.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
cool. So there's all that. Yep, there's those things. And there's actually one more thing that you haven't looked at that is a very big deal on our show.
It's become a sort of a
It's our
catchphrase for our
tagline.
show. But we'll get to that if you
Oh.
miss it. So don't worry about it. Go
We
check
didn't look.
the
We didn't
oven.
look at the door.
You always check the door.
Check the door.
I by the reaction, I think we would like to check the door.
It's not that.
Oh
I
no,
agree
like
with
you definitely have to at some point. It's not gonna. It may not help you immediately right now.
But
Yeah.
you always check the
Yes.
door.
Let's check the door.
Okay. So at the moment, the door is locked, but that's so that people can't get in. You can get out just fine whenever you want. The blinds are also down, covering the glass, and you should really tell David to replace those because they're very, very clearly defective. Every horizontal shutter on this blind is a different size. So going from the top down, there are 9 horizontal shutters, and they're all the same length across. They're all the same width, but their vertical width, not so much.
Height, almost.
Okay. The first 3 are all pretty narrow in that regard, but the next 3 are twice as tall. And then the bottom 3 are twice as tall again. So the whole thing looks very bottom heavy.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed.
Whenever we're looking at, will the blinds open or shut?
You can do whatever you want with them. They don't open or shut, like they don't open very well because,
Okay.
again,
It's all,
They're
Bad
stupid
defect.
sizes.
yeah, okay, fair enough.
but yep, they work as well as you expect them to.
Is there anything, if we open them, is there anything on the window or anything like that?
No, there is not.
There is not. Okay. Alrighty.
So just some mysterious blinds.
For somebody who's embezzling lots and lots of money, I'm surprised that he can't get some decent blinds for his window there. I don't know. I guess
You probably
you
found
make
that when
cuts-
you were checking the accounts, there probably was a whole section for brand new blinds.
Ah, you're right, because
But it was a lie.
the cake is a lie, ironically. This was a triumph. All right, let's look at if anybody gets the Portal reference, I will be very. Well, you guys, I'm sure, but any of the
yeah.
audience. I know you guys do a lot of streaming and stuff, so yeah. Okay, so we still need to check out the oven and the bench, unless there's something else on the door that stands out or that you want to mess with. I can't think of anything.
No, I think we are good to go check out something else.
Good.
Okay.
Oh,
How's
that was
about
such a Canadian out?
Wait, what are we checking out?
Apparently, my out is very Canadian.
Oh,
Stop it.
So nice. I'm sorry,
They're not making fun of
haven't
all of
gotten
our
that in a while.
nonsense
but
vowels.
feel free to.
Well, now I feel like we need to hear an Australian and an American out and a Canadian out to compare.
fair enough.
Yay!
Here's an Australian out. Out.
Out.
Out. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got an American
Going out. Going out, Bush.
that
We
was
need a
good.
Scottish co-host to round this whole thing out.
Ruined
it out.
Oh, we should have got Jonathan on here. That would have been fun. He actually probably would have been a ton of fun.
It's always it's so freeing knowing that you're in that little bit of the podcast that's going to get cut.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful.
You're totally
say
going to
whatever
listen back
you
and be
want.
like, they didn't cut this?
Full disclosure, I love cutting little fun bits out and okay, are we going to release this as a little blooper reel or something?
I
we
love
have,
it.
We have lots of little things like that we're not sure what we're going to do with, but I'm saving them. So just as I'm not going to put anything in there that you didn't want, but just as a forewarning. You're doing the reverse Brady thing where he it's like, are you going to cut this? It's like, now I can't, And now I have to.
I don't know where we were up to.
Oh,
So we're
my,
checking
yeah.
something out.
I'm so glad that you guys can divert just like me. That's great. I
It's
think
easy for us. You're going to forget all the puzzles. We've got them written
Don't
down.
worry, we've been writing them down.
I will. You guys want to see my notes? I'll send you some notes.
Yay!
I will send them to you. You won't be able to read them, but anyway, we need to look at the oven and the bench. We have not examined that closely yet.
No.
So let's look at the oven first. What is
All right.
that?
This oven is your favorite thing in here. It's the one thing in the bakery that always works and it's always perfect. There's nothing inside it. You have no complaints about anything. It's wonderful. You might be in love with this oven.
Noted. It's a very special oven.
We're both in love with it.
I would hug it, but it's probably hot, so we're not going to do that.
Well, the store's been closed for a bit, so it might be cool if you want to go for it.
Can I hug the oven?
Absolutely. And
Ooh,
it
it's
is
too hot. You
no,
burn.
it's
no.
just the right level of warmth that it fills you with comfort.
Oh.
It is the winter in the States, so that sounds lovely. Get a little blanket. I hug the oven, and I let the warmth radiate throughout. It's wonderful.
We just take a 5-minute break and hang out with the oven for a little bit.
It appreciates it.
I mean, no one else is
tell.
here, so... Anyway, perfect. Okay, so nothing special about the oven other than it is perfect. Then how can it just make these awful rolls that are hard as bricks? How can the oven betray me like that?
Yeah,
We
it's
have a
not
new
the
mystery
oven's
to
fault, it's
solve.
the recipe's fault.
Yeah, fair enough. That's right. Let's examine the bench. You said there's some shelves on the other side of the bench too. So let's look at the bench first.
This bench is evil bench. You hate this bench. Oh, what a mean bench.
Keep
You're
my
all
oven-
standing
the oven
rivalry
bench.
with this bench.
It's keeping my oven contained. I don't like that. The oven should be free.
No, this bench is cool.
Okay,
So the bench itself, it's a long metal bench. It's dusted with flour for optimum baking, and all of the regular ingredients are in cartons underneath it. You don't, however, see any of the usual utensils, which is odd, but maybe David took them home for some reason. And as you said, there are some bread shelves. So these contain all of the fat, squishy, rectangular loaves of bread that are waiting to be wrapped up and bought. They are separated into 3 distinct sections, but all of them look roughly the same.
All the sections look the same?
All the bread in the sections look the same, yeah.
Huh.
So apparently there are 4 shelves, but 3 sections. That's some good room design.
I think that's.
I mean, there could be a
I think
roof
that came
or
up in our
floor.
recording as well.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Just make it 3 shelves, three sections, 3 shelves.
Notes. Hey, maybe you should hire us as consultants. We can get the little details.
Yeah. For when the playtest doesn't catch it, for when the actual time we record it for us doesn't catch it.
I think both of those did catch it. You just never changed it.
I wouldn't have if you hadn't drawn attention. I totally would have missed it. So yeah, I can see. But again, it could totally be like a roof of the shelf. So if you have, I can see. I'm picturing in my head now. That could totally work. I think. Right?
yeah,
They're
totally.
4 vertical shelves and 3
vertical
horizontal
shelves.
Yes,
sections.
I think that's what I
Maybe.
meant.
Or like it's 4 shelves, so there's 4 levels, but then it's split left, middle, right.
No,
That
I think I
doesn't
was
matter.
going. I think I was
It's
going.
pointless.
I think I was going top, middle, bottom for the separated into 3s, and there are just 4 shelves because there's lots of bread. Of
This is so pointless.
course it is.
Gracious. Well, I would like
This
to
is why
examine.
real escape room designers only create like 3 rooms so they can remember them and understand what happens in them.
Oh, goodness. I think it's excellent. But I would like to examine however many shelves there are here.
There's lots of bread. They are somehow separated into 3 sections.
By escape room magic.
Listeners at home, picture how 3 sections might look, however you want. It doesn't matter as long as there's 3 of them. Maybe it's 3 concentric circles of bread.
Nice.
You guys are going to be getting a lot of weird drawings coming.
Yay!
I did not try and draw these shelves. I'm leaving that to my imagination. I'm writing them down.
And again, in my personal illustration of this room, they are 2 rectangles labeled bread. And that's it.
Whenever you said all the rectangles, I'm like, mine is one huge rectangle with lots of rectangles and a couple circles for chairs.
That's true. There are a couple of tiny circles.
Yeah.
Although ironically, those chairs ended up being rectangular.
4-sided circles. This is great.
All right, so now I believe you have looked at everything in the room. So it's
Okay.
about figuring out puzzles now.
Okay.
All right.
Did we learn everything we need to learn from those shelves? Is there anything else? Is anything stand out about the bread or the shelves themselves?
Is there any particular way you'd like to examine this bread closer? 'Cause it all
can we look at-
looks about the same.
Can we pick some up?
You can pick some up.
Mm-hmm.
It feels kind of similar. It's a bit hard to tell. So these are just full loaves of bread, so it's like all crust on the outside. They haven't been cut.
Okay, but they've been
And
baked.
They haven't been wrapped. Yep, baked, but not cut, not wrapped.
Okay.
And there's nothing behind the loaves of bread or underneath the loaves of bread?
No, you're all good there.
Okay.
Good call though.
So these could be cut, but not the super brick hard whatevers. But I don't think there's anything special about that as of yet.
But it's still locked, the slicer.
Yes, the slicer's still locked. We got to figure out a way to unlock that potentially. I don't know how else we're going to get into the brick thingies.
Is there anything interesting about the regular ingredients?
Nah, it's just as far as you can tell, your typical bread making ingredients.
They're just simple,
All right.
mundane ingredients.
I see what you did there. Yeah. Well, I do think, we have a combination of numbers, and I'm thinking since we've looked at everything, do we want to try for the lockers with some of these numbers that we figured out, Becky?
Yes. Let's
You're
do
welcome
it.
to. There's no penalty if they happen to
There's
not
no
work.
penalty when you're wrong.
Horribly wrong. Okay, so you came up with what did you come up with? You came up with something. Tell me.
583 or 581, depending on what number we want to use for the rolls and scrolls.
Okay.
Cool. Well, you can try either of those in both of the lockers, and they actually don't work. I'm so sorry.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
You are the weakest link.
All right.
Back to the menus, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Did you want to try yours, Patrick? You had an idea?
We had an 822 or a 228 because we had 8. What did I have? I had 8 on the
I think you had 8 double flavored sweets.
exactly, yes, 8 double flavored sweets. Yeah. And so then we had that left 22 single flavored sweets. So maybe trying a 228 or an 282 or
They also don't work, I'm
Okay.
afraid.
Oh.
so it needs to go together somehow or another with these menus, I think. Maybe.
The menus are definitely the thing that I think you should be focusing on at the moment. That's a good call. You've been saying some correct stuff about them.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, we're on the right track.
Perfect. What stands out on? So there's. Let's see. I didn't look at the savory side as much. So we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on the savory menu, and we have 5 single flavors on there. So we have 5. Oh. So we have 5 single flavors. That would leave 7 whatever flavors, double flavors. And then we have an 8.
Ooh, I have an idea.
Yes, please.
Why don't we
Save me.
reverse the numbers? Please help. Why don't we reverse the numbers? So instead of counting the number of single flavors, count the number of non-single flavors. So we
So
go
that-
with like
that-
7 and 22.
Oh, that's a good call. Okay. Can we do that? Let's do that.
I'm so sorry. It also doesn't work.
Okay.
There might be one more step you'll need to take before you're going to find a number.
Yeah.
Right.
There might be
You'll
something
end
that-
up with a number, but I don't know if that'll be your first step.
Yeah, there might be a more intermediary step that
Okay.
points you more towards a number so you don't have to be guessing as much.
I like the way you think. That's perfect.
All right.
Now, we never did find another blue thing because we had those ties. We have not figured out how they tie in to the tables and chairs because we've not done anything with the ties or the table and chairs, and we have the matching colors there.
True.
Yeah.
So
we
you don't
have
really
and we-
see so much blue around here.
yeah.
It's not a popular bakery color, apparently.
And I don't see any like. Can we look out the window and see if there's like a baby shop and see with like blue colors for the boys? I think that's a stretch. Let's see.
There's also these weird blinds.
Yeah, with 9 oddly done stuff, and 3 by 3, 3 sets of 3 that are doing something else. My handwriting is coming to play here.
There was 3 that were narrow, and then the next 3 were twice as tall, and then the next 3 are twice as tall as that.
Okay, 3, 3, 3. I feel like I have all the pieces necessary, but I'm trying to like throw all the puzzle into a box and shake it up a little bit. It's like, okay, where do these fit together?
It can be a bit like that.
When you first found those menus, you noted something interesting about them.
Something that was different about one menu versus the other menu.
Alphabetical
Yes.
and non-alphabetical.
Okay.
And as you noted, maybe, well, as I accidentally said straight up,
Why would you do something alphabetically?
Because it's easier. Well, no.
because it doesn't mislead you into thinking that there's a puzzle when there isn't.
So there might be a puzzle in the other one.
Okay, so I'm looking like for connecting tissue. Okay, so I'm looking at the leading letters. And I don't, because those are all lined up all nice and pretty. What stands out to you on the menus?
So I'm still feeling like maybe there's something to do with the number and order and pattern to do with like it's like 2 pies and 2 cupcakes.
Oh, I forgot
then
about that.
A pie, then a tart, then a pie, then 2 tarts.
Mm-hmm.
Then a pudding. Then I don't know what it's saying, but I feel like maybe there's something to it.
And there's 1 yogurt that's just lonely down there.
That's the key to all of this.
I see. How many smoothies are there? I see. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 smoothies. I feel like I'm onto something here. Let's see. 4 smoothies. How many pies? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pies. And 1, 2.
What if we combine the no double flavors idea with this idea we're working on?
That's good. Okay. That's making my brain hurt though, trying to put those together. It's like ugh, okay. Multitasking is not my forte. Let's see. So how would that go together then? So if we have, so if we have 4. So let's look at the smoothies then. Let's do it one at a time. We have 1 double flavored smoothie, 2 double flavored smoothies, a single flavored smoothie, and a single flavor. So we have 2 and 2. 2 by 2 on that. On the pies, we have 1, 2, let's see, a double flavored pie, single flavored pie, and wait, do we only have 3 pies? No, all right, so there's 2 and 2 on the pies as well.
Tart.
That's interesting.
Interesting.
Cupcakes, 1 single flavored cupcake.
Just looks like 2 single flavor cupcakes.
Okay. I'm seeing a lot of 2s, which is interesting.
You know how we were looking for patterns in the order of stuff? What if we remove all the double flavors or only look at double flavors? Are there any patterns?
Okay.
there?
Okay.
What was your first thought for a pattern just before, Patrick?
Well, so far what I'm looking at, it's all even numbers, and then they're all divided by 2. So everything is 2. So 4 smoothies, 2 are single flavored, 2 are double flavored. Same for the pies. There's only 2 cupcakes, and they're both single flavor.
There's something else you said a bit earlier that was more directly what it needs to be.
I hate it when I stumble on the solution. Like, oh, there it is. Like, oh, and he went fast. He drew it. Wave as it goes by.
What did you say, Patrick?
I said many, many things.
You did say many, many things.
I think that the one thing that needs to be said is that you don't need to worry too hard about the numbers that you need to figure out being very implied, or that you need to guess what you need to do to get those numbers. There should be something in an escape room that tells you like what you need to be counting if there's a counting thing.
Okay.
Because otherwise, as you found, there's
There
an
are
infinite
lots of
number of things to
variations.
count.
Fair enough. Oh, now here's an idea. It
What's
was
the idea?
You gotta say it. Even if
I
it's dumb,
know.
you gotta say it.
All right, it was dumb. So the first thought that I had is we're looking for something blue. This is something that was interesting to me. So going back to savory menu, if you beef was at the top of the list, and that was the first thing that came to my mind was that there's beef is the top of the list, so you have B, and then there's lamb, and then that was it. So there's no U and there's no E. So I'm like, all right, well, it is what it is. So I was like, ooh.
And yet again, somehow this is tangentially related
close.
to what you need to do.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. Can we
Because you
combine
knew
these?
that in that savory menu, the order wasn't going to, because it was alphabetical, the order was probably not going to turn up into anything.
No, that was just
The
the first thing that
sweets
jumped
menu
out at me.
seemed to have an interesting order.
Yeah.
Oh, does it spell something if we remove the double
Ooh.
flavors, maybe? Or only look at
Okay.
double flavors?
Let's
Well,
do
the
that.
sign did say there are no double flavors.
No double flavors.
No double flavors. Okay, so no double flavors. So apple is top. Here, do you want to write maybe while I give you the letters?
Sure,
Okay.
let's do it.
Okay, so single flavor apple A,
Okay.
chocolate C,
Okay.
elderflower, pumpkin,
Yep.
orange, tangerine, almond, toffee, Oreo, lemon, espresso, eucalyptus. Very Australian. Kiwi, strawberry, apricot, tapioca, acaberry, and yogurt.
Acai.
Acai? Okay. Perfect.
Ooh, this. Okay, so this totally does spell something.
What does it spell?
Ace potato leek saute.
That rolls off the tongue. Wait, did you say potato? Potato.
Yes.
A potato. Hold on.
Yeah.
On. Potato and leek.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah.
Ace
Saute.
potato leek saute.
Yay.
Ace being your co-worker's name, of course.
Aha. Okay. I don't know what it means. All right. Now there was a saute pie in the.
Yeah, if you go back to the savory menu, we've got a potato and leek
Mm-hmm.
and a saute pie.
Mm-hmm. But whenever the pie is in the case or whatever, there's only saute because I smelled them and they were strong.
You only tasted one.
You picked
Only
up
tasted
one
one.
and ate it and
There
found
were
that it was
20
satay.
pies in total.
Okay. Well, let's go eat all the pies. Let's examine more pies.
All right. So you go through all of the rest of these 20 pies. So there was the one that tasted like satay. You don't find any other that taste like that, actually. You
Fair
find
enough.
3 that taste like lamb, 3 that taste like Mexican spices,
Okay.
4 that taste like cheese, and 9 that taste like mushroom.
Okay. But no potato and leek.
Hmm.
Well, that's interesting. All right. Can you give me the types again? We had 3, 3, 4, 9. What were the types again?
Okay. And the one satay. Don't forget the one
Oh.
satay.
The one. That's right. Yes.
Yep. So 3 lamb,
Okay.
3 Mexican,
Okay.
4 cheese,
Okay.
and 9 mushroom.
And no potato leek.
I'm so glad the one I picked up was satay. I would not have gotten it otherwise. And still struggle, but at least one step at a time.
Yeah.
Okay. Do those numbers mean anything to you, Becky?
So I mean, the first thing I'm thinking about is this seems to imply this would be Ace's code for his locker.
Mm-hmm.
And if potato and leek were 2 separate flavors, I would think that just it would be like 001 for just the amount of pies that are in there.
Oh.
Or the number of which, like what order they are in the list, like on the menu. But I think
Oh,
they're
okay.
in double digits by the time we get down there.
Yeah.
What did the sign in front of the pies say?
No single flavors.
Okay. So no single flavors on the savory, and these are all savory. So we had satay
Oh.
is not a single flavor. That's one.
Lamb is a single flavor.
Lamb is a
Unless it's lamb and potato.
so we can disregard lamb, right? Because they were just lamb, right? They were not lamb and potato.
Well, you could taste lamb. You're not a talented, amazing chef. You don't know if there's.
You were just
know that at least
getting
there's
the
some lamb
predominant
in that pie.
flavor.
The
Okay,
predominant
I was
flavor
gonna
of the,
say-
of the pie is lamb.
Okay.
I was gonna say, how good are your taste buds, Patrick?
I'm very sensitive actually when it comes to taste, so I probably could.
Oh.
And I love potatoes, but we're role playing. So for this instance, I apparently not very good.
Are you in character now of
I'm-
a person who can't tell flavors apart?
You've
Yes.
worked in the bakery for so long, it's all been dulled.
It's all
That's what happens. That's
it's
how
all
they get you.
delicious flaky nonsense.
Okay.
The one is a single flavor. The lamb we're unsure of because it could be lamb or lamb and potato.
Well, if
there
we
are
go
no
by the
single
sign, it will
flavors.
be lamb and potato.
Oh yeah, we derp. Okay,
Ooh, I have a thought.
please.
Okay, so lamb and potato, we can take the potato from that, and then the mushroom and leek would be our leek number, perhaps.
You
So what would
have
you
a
end up
thing.
with
We
then?
following?
Say again.
Okay.
You have something, but I'm trying to connect the dots.
Okay, so the words we found were potato, leek, saute, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the flavors we have, there's a lamb and potato,
Mm-hmm.
and then there is a mushroom and leek,
Mm-hmm.
and then just a saute one. So we kind of have 3 numbers from that.
I think you're on the right track. Maybe we should give that a shot.
And what would those 3 numbers be?
Would it be the number of pies? So we have 1 leek.
3 lamb and potato, right?
Yep, there were 3 lamb flavored
And
pies.
then Then 9 for mushroom and leek.
And 1 for saute.
All right, what are you doing with that number?
We are going to input them into Ace's locker.
The locker opens.
Yay!
Yeah!
Woohoo! Well done.
Okay.
All right. Now, what greets you is a wave of disgusting putrid odor. One of Ace's uniforms is crumpled up on the floor, horribly stinky shoes included. Ace mustn't ever wash. Holding your nose, you poke around a little bit in there, and you find a post-it note stuck to one of the inside walls. Remember, only slice bread when it's a few hours old. Boss says no brand new bread. Not sure why.
Well, we have some brand new bread over at the shelving, don't we? I believe. Because the other bread is old, the one that's on the display case.
Well, they're different products, so
Yeah, sure.
that's the thing. Like, everything's supposed to last a bit like, more than a day, but those scrolls, for whatever reason, they just go rock hard much too fast. So they're just defective. The other bread, not so sure. There are various times of day in which bread gets baked. So
I wonder what would designate said bread, except for potentially these twisty ties.
Ooh, good thinking.
Aha. So I told you the twisty ties, man. That's the one thing that latched itself to my brain.
You're like colors.
Colors, I hate them. I'm colorblind, so.
Oh, really?
Yes. So the green ones are in the afternoon. That would be the most recent to now. Do we see any green twisty-tied bread?
Well, all of the bread on these shelves is all unwrapped.
Oh, that's right.
So it's a bit hard to tell just visually.
I almost want to just throw all the bread on the slicer and see what happens, but I don't.
Can we feel them? Do we know as bakers if it's a few hours old from touch?
Yeah, I'll grant you that. I really want you to eat it, but that's cool.
I'm down to eat bread. Let's eat some bread.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so you try the first shelf, left shelf, top shelf, however you've designed it, and it's good, but it has that barely formed staleness around the edges that tells you that it's been sitting out in the open air for a while.
Okay.
The middle shelf tastes the same, but it's also got that added bit of hardness to the crust that isn't supposed to be there, so it's just a little bit worse. And the final shelf bread not only has that light stale taste, but it's got a layer of hardness all the way through. It's not inedible, but you definitely wouldn't buy it unless it was going straight in the toaster. So that's interesting. All of them are a tiny bit not great in varying stages.
That is interesting. Do we see any other bread anywhere else?
Well, no.
I mean, if we're going to be here long enough, I feel like we could just make a slice or make a new loaf and then cut it. But I don't think that's what we're going for.
Well, you know what? Actually, you could do that in your sleep. You've had lots of experience, and you actually have in your head a bit of a recipe adjustment that you've been working on that can make bread bake quite quickly, so that you don't have to let it sit for a couple of hours for proving.
Oh.
Proving?
Rising.
Breading.
Breading. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
go with that. Perfect. Well, let's definitely try our hand at making some of this fast-moving bread here.
Do we
Yeah,
get to
alright.
use our beloved oven then?
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
I have been
Alright, so
waiting
you-
all podcast for this.
Well, you grab the ingredients, you grab a bowl, you get mixing. Yep, too easy. Eventually, you have a nice ball of dough. And you adjust your recipe, you make these little things. Now, all it needs is to be rolled out. But if you remember,
we don't have
David
any
took all of
tools.
the utensils home.
Yeah.
And with your altered recipe, you can't just knead it by hand. It needs to be properly flattened out or it won't rise.
Well, we have rock
Patrick,
hard.
grab one of the rolls and
Yes.
scrolls.
Yes. We have
I
rock
mean,
hard
it-
scrolls.
It is a hard cylinder. I mean, you just hope that none of the terribleness rolls off on your rubs off on your bread. You give it an experimental. Yeah.
But we had cylinder-shaped chairs Are there? But I'm
Actually, it was a
thinking.
cylinder-shaped table.
Listen,
Yeah, it was a cylinder table
The
that
chairs
didn't move
were
so much.
rectangular prisms.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking, oh, maybe a
How
cylinder,
dare you.
like the leg of. I'm going. Sorry.
Patrick, I'm just picturing you walking back to this bench, carrying a chair, being
No.
like, "Can we roll with this?"
Listen. This is my thought. So you have the leg of a chair that is detachable, and it would be, about the size of like a baseball bat or something. And so that was my thought. You could detach it and then roll it out with the leg of the chair.
I thought,
Which
you
potentially
wanted
might
to
be
use the
less.
whole chair.
I mean, I'm
I mean,
particularly.
the chairs, I don't even know if the chairs have legs. I think they're just big rectangular
Yeah.
prisms that you sit on.
Yeah.
That's why they're so bad.
We could just mush them. Anyway, all right.
But you had the thing.
Yeah, you were totally right the first time.
We'll go with the first one.
Yeah, okay, you give
so
this
clever.
scroll a bit of a roll over your dough, and it works. It's a perfect substitute for a rolling pin. Pretty soon, you've got your dough flattened out and ready to be shaped and baked. After the rolling pin debacle, you just want something that's going to go smoothly.
Indeed. Literally and figuratively. Okay, well, let's bake the bread then. We've got it rolled out. We did everything. Can we put it in the oven?
You throw your dough in the oven, you crank up the heat, and you wait. This part could take a few good minutes, so if there's anything else in the room that is still worth doing, that, like, after it comes out of the oven, what are you going to do? That slicer's still locked.
Yeah.
So maybe there's still some way to figure out other things in the room that can help you unlock that.
I want to hit it with one of those hard rolls, but I think we've gotten the... I think we've gotten use out of the hard rolls.
Yeah, now that you've eaten everything, most of the destructive parts of this room are dealt with.
Yeah, indeed.
We didn't eat all the sweet
Ooh.
items.
Oh, that's true. Like,
And
go
there
to
are
town
30
on those.
pies.
I don't know if it'll help us solve this, but it might just help us think a bit while we eat.
Brain food.
Yeah, you do that
Exactly.
and you just sort of, you glare at that locked away birthday cake that's still in there that you can't reach because that would just make the evening.
Indeed. It's like, well, that was a solution I was not expecting, I'll be honest. I glare at it and Magneto style, swing it open. All right. All right.
Okay, so what can we do that might help this slicer?
It's
The
a bit hard to
blinds.
tell.
The blinds have not done anything, and I don't see how we can get anywhere with the twisty ties. I think those are the two items that we have not done anything at all with.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no idea what.
There's
What?
something else you haven't really used for anything. Something that you haven't done anything with.
Well, the chairs and tables we haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
what are those chairs and tables there for?
For display. They're displaying the bread. They have an attached plate.
Yes. So these plates, they're just quite big. They're just quite large white plates that are attached to the tables somehow.
What are they made
And
of?
yeah, whatever plates are normally made of,
Okay,
porcelain
alright.
of some sort.
Oh, and sure, if it's
But
like
yeah,
maybe
every
steel or
morning
something.
Ace normally comes in, puts up some sort of display of product there, and then packs it away in the evening.
And it's empty right now.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's nothing under the tables or the chairs.
No, because they're very solid shapes. Like the tables are just
Okay.
solid cylinders, and the chairs are just solid rectangular prisms. There's no way to get anything under them.
And they're green and pink.
Mm.
And ugly, apparently.
I mean, one's a green cylinder and one's a pink rectangle. That's pretty. It's
I mean,
neither
I like-
utilitarian nor attractive.
I like green, but not for furniture.
Not that green. This green is the worst green.
Whatever the worst green you can think of right now, that's the one, and it is horrible. I'm like, okay, cool. I'd make a descriptor, but I'm not going to. I'll just leave it to you.
I think we're all thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Nothing stands out, and it can't move. We can't do anything with it. Can I put weight on the plate? Does it move if I put weight on it? Like I don't want to sit on it because it'll break. But like, can I? Does it go up or down or anything like that?
if you sort of lean with your hand, it's very subtle, but you do think something might be going on when you do that.
Okay. I don't know what to make of that because there's nothing weighty other than bread. to put on the plate. Now that's what goes on there, though. It's a display. That's what it's for. But I mean, can we put some pie or bread on the
You
plate
could
and see
put
if anything
the
happens?
very hard, solid scrolls on them. Maybe
Yeah.
it might be heavy enough.
Could
Yeah,
be.
do you have... So it almost seems like when you press your hand down on it, it didn't feel like you need... Like, more weight was the issue that was needed.
Okay.
It felt like maybe a very specific weight or something was what was needed for that.
Well, can we put some of our
So-
freshly baked bread on there? Bread on there?
It's still baking.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. We're waiting. We're checking things out.
It makes me think the birthday cake should go on there, but it's hidden away.
Oh,
Well,
I
do
forgot
remember, there are also two identical ones of these because each table has a plate on there.
I forgot about the cake.
Ah. So possibly 2 items.
Hmm.
So you're on the right track. It's just a matter of figuring out what wants to go on there.
It's a game of associations now.
Let's see. Becky, brainstorm me. I am stuck.
Okay, I'm trying to
If
think
it's
of
not
some
obvious.
items that we haven't done much with yet that might
Nice.
look nice for a display.
Oh, yeah. Looking for something pretty. That
Yeah,
totally makes sense.
looking at the stuff that you haven't dealt with yet is definitely a good idea.
I think you're probably right.
I feel like we've interacted with a lot of this. I'm trying to think which things we haven't as
Yeah.
much yet. The twist tie
Yeah.
still
Mm.
would be an odd
What do you know about those
display
twist
choice.
ties?
Yeah, tell me about those twist ties again.
The same color with a blue standing out for some reason. But we have a green for afternoon and we have a pink for yesterday. We have lots of old bread.
In varying degrees of oldness as well.
Yeah. So what happens if we put some of that bread on the whatever was pink, the pink chairs? What happens? Does anything happen if we put some bread on there? I don't. Yeah.
Can you be more specific?
I would like to try all the bread because it's some of it was all varying degrees of stale. We had sort of stale and then we had really stale. Let's start with the really stale because I hear yesterday and I think old. So maybe let's start with the most stale bread and we'll work our way up.
All right. And the pink ones, the pink labels did seem to be the oldest ones. So fair enough. Go with the oldest breads. Now, putting them on the chairs doesn't do anything.
I didn't assume. But what happens if we put them on the plate?
Put them on the plates. And again, there does seem to be some sort of movement going on in there. Teeny tiny.
Okay.
But it doesn't quite click in where it needs, the way it needs to. As if there's something more to it. Just
Okay.
something more. Just a little bit extra.
I feel like the little bit extra would be the next color, the blue ones, which are the color missing between the tables and the chairs as well.
Correct. Oh, that's a good call. Do we have any blue labeled bread or pie?
You
or
have some
anything?
of the one that was...
Medium stale.
Yeah, there was medium stale bread. But when you replace the old bread with the medium stale bread, you actually don't get as much of a feedback reaction.
Oh.
That's interesting.
Nobody cares about blue.
I love blue. Blue's my favorite.
I mean, I feel like we might as well try green, but that would be even
Yeah.
more different than blue is.
Yeah. Head in
Yeah,
wrong
the
direction.
pink bread definitely felt like that was good.
Yeah.
One thing that did look a little bit funny when you put the bread on the chairs is that the chairs are these sort of strange rectangular prismy shapes, kind of like a loaf of bread.
That is interesting.
They looked like it was a scaled version of
Yeah.
but in the same dimensions as a loaf of bread.
Huh. I
I
didn't think
hear
about
what
that.
you're saying, and my brain's thinking, but it's like, I'm not sure where I'm getting to.
Yeah.
This is something interesting you noticed.
That is okay. So bread-shaped chairs and cylinder-shaped table.
So the tables might be similar to the roll and scroll shape,
Mm-hmm.
They kind of are.
Yeah.
and the chair is shaped like the bread.
Uh-huh.
What's the plate shaped like?
A plate.
A plate.
Like a pie?
Nah, just a
Just
plate.
like a plate.
Just a plate.
Just a plate. Okay.
All right.
Not on the right track.
Yeah, it's like check fall. All right, good try. Hey, that's 2 for 2. I'm good. I'm good with that.
But you are right
Oh yeah.
with what you found. Other
Everything
than
else you
plate,
said
which is
was
a
good.
plate. You do have pink chairs that are shaped like the bread and a green table that's shaped like one of those scrolls.
Okay. Do we have any green scrolls?
Well, what was green?
That was afternoon, so that was stale. So they're all stale. Yeah.
But that was the least stale.
Yeah.
And if
Oh,
you
that's
remember from your
That's right.
whacking scrolls against the bench experiments, they did come in degrees of staleness as well.
That's right. That's right. So let's get the least stale one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you have your very stale breads. So you've got a couple loaves of that. And you've got a not that stale one of the rolls. And you put those on the plates on the tables. And when you do that, you hear a click. Not from the tables themselves. Not from anywhere near you, in fact. From somewhere out the back.
Out the back. Okay. I'm assuming it's not the birthday cake.
It sounded like it was further away than that. Just
Fair
further
enough.
back.
So the door's in the front. So what's in the only stuff in the back is the lockers and
The slicer?
The slicer. Yes.
The lever of the slicer now moves.
Ah.
Yeah.
And not only that, ding!
The bread's,
The bread's done. Hey. Perfect.
Hey,
it's
Patrick,
like it's meant
do you
to
want
be.
to slice some bread?
I have been waiting all day to slice some bread.
Let's do it.
Yeah, of course. You're not going to obey the note that was in Ace's locker. Who cares about Ace and David? So
Exactly.
you put your brand new beautiful bread in that machine and you pull the lever. You feel some resistance. The spongy texture of the fresh bread is like clashing with the blades, or maybe the settings aren't quite right. You pull back, worried you're going to leave your bread as like a broken mess if you keep going. You open up the machine to take a look, and oh, that's interesting. Not your bread isn't the only thing there. There's something that must have gotten stuck to one of the blades at some point. There's another post-it. You read this one, and it says, "Forgot the width? Don't be a snore. If you're that thick, look." But the words after that have been sliced away.
You mangled
say
it with
that
your
again?
attempted slicing.
Forgot the width? Don't be a snore. If you're that thick, look.
At the door.
It works.
I
Let's
would
go
like
to these oddly width-shaped blinds at the door.
Oh. Yay.
So again, you know exactly what they look like. So the three top ones of those blinds are quite narrow. Then the three underneath them are twice as wide. And then the three underneath that, twice as wide again. So it's gradually getting bigger as you get further down.
I wonder if any of those blinds coincide with sizes that can be cut with the bread machine slicer.
That slicer did have adjustable thickness. That you could
Individually
deal with.
adjustable thickness cutters is the technical term.
Baker in another life, or potentially in this life. I don't know. Let's see.
Are there specific widths or settings for the slicer, or it's just you can pick anything along like a spectrum?
Whatever you want.
Okay.
So we can adjust it, but what is that going to do if we adjust the I'm working out. We can
Yeah, I
slice the
wonder.
bread. If we adjust the sizes, what is that going to do for us? We have some very
I
narrow.
don't know. Maybe you can find out.
Yeah.
This is a room full of experimenting.
Worst
Exactly.
case scenario, you can bake more bread.
Oh, that's true. Because we can do this very quickly. What stands out to you, Becky?
Well, it sounds like you want to do some slicing. Is there a width you're wanting to try?
Well, we could try the narrow ones. I don't know what we're going to do with it when we do it, but let's do some narrow slicing of the bread first and go from there.
So you want all of the varying width. So yeah, you can like set individual slices of this bread to different widths.
Oh,
so you
yeah,
don't need
let's-
to
let's
set
try
them
'em all.
all to thin.
Yeah, let's do it all. Yes, by all means. So let's match
So-
up all the bread with the blinds with
Cool. So you set the slicer to thin slices at the top, and then the twice as thick in the middle, and then
Yes.
4 times as thick at the bottom.
Yes.
All right.
We want a
You
Christmas
put
tree.
You get your bread back into place, you do those adjustments, and you pull the lever, and again, you have to push down quite hard because your bread is kind of spongy, but it does seem to go the whole way down. And when you take your bread out, you realize actually, because of the whole spongy issue, only some of the slicer blades went all the way through And some of them got sort of stuck halfway. And you're going to be sent an image of what your bread looks like
Should be in the Skype chat now.
Yes,
as
I
you look
see.
down at your not quite perfect bread.
This feels like one of those live baking shows where they're like, oh, we put it in the oven and they pull out a fresh one that's just done.
So yeah, it didn't slice all the way through. It's interesting.
Interesting.
Can you describe what you're looking at to your viewers at home?
Yes.
I think the description will be perfect bread, a perfect paint
Perfect
drawing of
picture
bread.
Yes, perfect MS Paint. Can't imagine any better bread. Becky, you're probably better at describing than I would be, if you can see it.
I can't see it. I'm like, how do you describe this perfectly drawn bread? So it's kind of like divided into I don't know how to describe this, Patrick.
Fair enough.
Okay, so there's like two. I don't know. Do you want to try this, Patrick? I'm
I'll
not...
give it a shot. So
Okay.
there's a cut directly in the middle of the bread. So the bread we're looking at is taller than it is wide as far as how we're looking at it. So we're looking at it vertically, I guess. At the top is the narrow part. So you see it looks like halfway sliced through 3 slices of bread. And then there's a cut that goes all the way across. And then there's 2 cuts that go halfway across and 1 cut that goes all the way across again. And then it's getting wider towards the bottom. At the bottom, there's another cut halfway across, another cut halfway across. So we have 2 cuts that are halfway, 1 cut all the way across, 2 cuts halfway, 1 cut all the way across, and 2 cuts halfway.
And of course, one of them, I think,
Is-
the halfway cut is the other direction.
Yes, correct. At the
That
very
blade
top.
Yeah,
is
the two
different
at the
from all the
top are
rest.
like, yeah.
Yeah. So it's almost like it cut all the way across, but jumped whatever halfway through. And
Cut from the other side for some reason.
yeah, for some
the
reason.
front
Yeah.
the first half of that bread was just extra spongy. It couldn't cut well.
Fair enough. Very logical, indeed. That one at the top is confusing me. I don't know why it would have cut that way.
Yeah, it's like one's coming from like
A
the
different
left
direction.
side of the bread and one's coming from the right side of the bread.
Yeah. Can we look closer at the slicer? Is there anything that would have caused that that we can see?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Maybe the slices cut like scissors almost. So they're coming in from both sides. So on some of the bread, it's coming from the right more, and on that one,
Okay.
it's coming from the left more.
Yeah, let's
That
go
would
with
make-
that.
That would make physical sense.
Yeah.
And then the ones where it's
Okay.
cut the whole way through, they're just like cut the whole way through.
And then the rest of the cuts, though, that only go halfway are only from the left side.
Correct.
None from the right side after that.
And there are 2
That
cuts
is
that go all the way through.
It almost looks like it's like divided in 3 sections with like 2 and then 2 and then 2.
And the 2 at the top are half of the bread, and the one at the bottom is the other half of the bread. So it's a
No,
quarter
just
and a half.
Whatever the proportions would have been that you cut it in thickness-wise.
Yeah. None of it makes any sense to me, though.
I like this puzzle.
All right.
You mastered that one.
Fair enough. All right, now I'm checking my notes again.
Yeah, this is like it's almost finished.
Right near
There's
the end.
super little left.
I know.
Oh.
I mushed the bread into the locker. No. So we still need we still need to figure out David's combination. So we have nothing but sets of 2s. But there's one random bit going off the other direction.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what that tells me though. We need a 3-digit code, and I don't know if we're digging that from this bread or not.
I
I don't
can
know if we're
tell
missing
you,
something still.
you are not missing a thing.
Okay.
Oh.
So what numbers can we deduce? And so if we have, I don't know Morse code or anything like that. It's like we got shorts and longs.
No.
That's the first
no
thing that
need
comes.
that you'll
Yeah,
don't
nothing like
need
that.
any outside
You-
knowledge.
You don't even
Okay.
need to count anything.
You don't even need to solve anything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I think I see it.
Well, please.
So the way the bread is drawn, if you look at it in a certain way, numbers reveal themselves in the patterns of the cuts. And we've got 2, 3, 3 going on, is what I think.
You just
And
gotta-
now you'll never unsee it.
yeah, now that you've seen it, you just got to lean back a little bit. Just take some
kinda
extra
like
distance and you'll see it.
Oh, that's
Wait, Patrick,
excellent. Yes, I see it.
were you owing about something else?
Yes.
Because I was like, wait, you went like you totally knew.
Nope, I totally missed that. Totally missed that.
Everybody else was owing. It was just you guys joined.
Yeah. It was at the same time. I was not mimicking, but I thought I had something else, but I forgot we already used it. So yeah, I'm not even gonna go there.
Oh, okay.
2, 3,
I was
3.
gonna say, what was your? Oh, I'm curious.
No. Nope. 2, 3, 3 though. That is, I can't unsee it now. That's beautiful. Excellent paint drawn bread.
I love being able to do that and having pulled that off because that feels like such a scary puzzle because you never know because someone could get it in a second.
Yeah, totally.
I think I got it quite quickly.
Maybe, but yeah, so that was a really fun one to create.
I really like that. I really like that. That's excellent.
Actually, I can tell you, I got it quickly the first time because I had it on my phone. And a phone, naturally, you could just like hold a little bit further out rather than the computer screen where you need to scoot your chair out.
Yeah, because
Maybe.
I was
Two,
scooting
three, three.
in. Yes, 2, 3, 3. Let's please put that in the locker.
David's locker unlocks.
Yay!
You open it, bracing for what you might find, and you find a locker that is completely bare except for a small metal box. It isn't locked, but inside that, it's also completely bare, except for an inscription written on the bottom. The key to the sweetest is in the most sour.
So we need a key for the cake. What is going to be the most sour?
I feel like there were some sour flavors on that sweet menu.
Yeah.
There were. But you happen to be aware that there is something currently in this bakery that is even more sour than any of those.
Oh, Ace's clothes. It was nasty smelling.
It was nasty.
Nasty.
It was nasty.
Are you going to go check it for us?
Yeah, I will reluctantly go poke in those clothes some more and see if I can find something like a key.
All right, the clothes they're pretty bad. They're not the worst. The real source of the putrid, decaying, and definitely sour smell
Oh, your
The
nose.
shoes?
is Ace's shoes.
Ah.
Oh, no.
You stick your hand right on inside one of them. And it feels a little bit moist. Right up in the big toe area, you feel a bit of the fabric come loose. You dig your finger in the small hole and you touch what definitely feels like a tiny key. Barely bigger than your thumbnail, you pull it out.
I definitely want to go unlock that birthday cake.
It unlocks and the glass door slides open.
Yay. Becky, would you like some congratulatory birthday cake?
Oh, I would totally love some cake.
All right, now what's your plan here? Because unfortunately, with all of the utensils gone, there aren't any knives or nice plates for you to serve yourself a nice, neat slice.
Well, I love that oven. I love that oven. I know we've used the oven, but
Are you saying crunch it?
Crunch it.
What does that mean?
I mean, we can't take a bite. Just
Can
face-
we could use the slicer?
That'll probably
like a
ruin the
mess.
slicer.
Yeah, that sounds like
This isn't a puzzle. Just have fun.
Oh,
Let's
we can
eat
just
the
straight up
cake,
eat it
please.
You can just dive in.
Mm.
Like, put it in the middle of the bakery floor and just leap at it.
I'm probably gonna get fired anyway because I broke into my boss's locker, so I might as well just dive into the cake.
Just go all out.
Yeah.
All right, you go all out. You just stick your faces right in the sides of that cake. And you have a good go at it. It's delicious. It's fantastic. The icing is perfect. You may have made it yourself. You can't quite remember. But sure enough, inside, you find something. You have a bit of a feel against your teeth of something that's spongy, but not in that delicious edible way. More like a waterproof wallet sort of way. You wipe away all of the creamy, sugary filling, and you find your way to a zipper. You tear it open, and all but exploding out of it, high denomination bills.
Lovely.
So now you have a bakery that has cake all over the floor, money flying through the air. You have done it. Until now, nobody has actually touched this cake except for David. He brags about it to all the customers that he locked it away to preserve it forever. Well, unless he felt like going on a shopping spree, apparently. Something tells you that with this evidence, you'll never have to endure his verbal abuse again.
Congratulations!
Yay!
You found the money. You did it. Oh, good work,
Excellent.
guys.
Thank you.
That was really fun.
That was a lot of fun. You guys were a treat.
I'm so glad.
If you'll pardon the
I'm
pun,
glad.
I didn't even mean that to be a pun. But
Becky, how did that compare to the real escape rooms you've done?
Very similar, just like the audio form of it.
More cake?
You
More
did eat
cake.
More eating in general, I assume.
More freedom to do anything, but also like we have to ask everything because you either can or can't in the real rooms.
Yeah, definitely. The game master has a very different degree of power.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was a lot.
But I really enjoyed your guidance through it. It was
Yes.
very good.
Oh, I'm
good.
so glad. Thank you.
Like
That was
just enough
fun.
to help, not too much, not too little. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point is like, you don't want the players to get stuck, but you don't want them to feel like you solved the puzzles for them.
Yeah.
yeah.
But you guys did really, really
I
well.
hope you felt good about yourselves doing
Really?
that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Found lots of things. The one thing you did that's always so frustrating for both you and us is you would very often immediately say, this will be the solution, and then you'd forget what you said. You'd like, 'cause I think you sort of assumed that it must have been wrong. Because I mean, like straight away with that save it with the sweet board, you immediately, Patrick, you were like, okay, well that's going to be. I should look at the first
you
letters
said,
in
"Let's
order.
go through
no,
the-
no, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then sort of abandoned it as an idea, and it had to be something you came back around to.
Chase that thread.
But it was really good. I mean, good work, Becky. You got that potato leek satay thing really well.
That was great.
As soon as you kind of re-examined there's no single flavors, you went, oh, okay, now I found my potato and leek in those lamb and mushrooms. It was really good.
I would not
It
have
was
gotten
very
that. That was
satisfying
fantastic.
to get it.
Yeah.
The puzzle
great.
that was consistently the one that got people stuck was that association of like
The colors,
green
and
cylinder, pink
yeah.
square. The cylinder looks like the cylinder-shaped food. The squares look like the square-shaped bread. And now we need to go like the pink version of the bread, so that's the oldest bread, and the green version of the scone of the scrolls. That's the least old scrolls, and they'll go together to make the display, which is why the tables and chairs look like that. It's like a key to the display. And it's this bringing everything together across the room, and it's definitely a tricky one.
Yeah. Well done also on the immediate, I want to taste that pie.
Yes.
Because when Bill
Took a
playtested
long
this
time.
room, that was the one that he was reluctant to, like just going in and tasting things didn't occur to him for a bit
I
longer.
wasn't sure I wanted to. I
fair
thought,
enough.
I don't want to ruin your nice pies. Well, no, you guys did
That would've
great.
been
I hope you enjoyed it. It was really nice to have you play through it. It was fun.
Yeah,
It's a
had
nice
It
fun.
was a
room.
lot of fun. I'm glad y'all had fun. I had a really good time too. Thank you so much for
I'm so
taking the time to come in and talk to us. And you've been a treat to have on.
Thank you. Well, I hope all your people listening enjoyed the change of pace as well.
Indeed. I hope so too. I have to say, ever since we've had it scheduled, I've been very excited. Like, this is going to be different, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun because I think there's decent crossover there.
And if the two of you ever want to write your own and bring it to us so that we can play.
We've had a whole season. Actually, the season that this room came from, every second episode was actually a fan-created room where they wrote their own escape room, and we got to play. It was good fun.
Wow.
So if you ever feel like it,
I'm
you're
not sure my
always
brain.
welcome.
I'm not sure my brain goes that way. So how do you parse out the good and the bad when it comes to that? Because
You
what's
just do
obvious
it. You
to
hope they're good, and if
Yeah.
they're bad, then you just don't publish the episode. It hasn't happened to us yet. All of our fans are good.
wow, that's fantastic.
It tends to be that the ones that would end up really terrible are the ones that you get 5 seconds into planning and then you get stuck.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I could see the extreme challenge in doing something like this. This is there's a lot of intricacy to that to make it come together as a story also, because you're making a story too, which is to
I definitely do a lot more focus on the story than I do on the puzzles when these
Okay.
happen. It sounds counterintuitive, but yeah, very much so. Puzzles are the last thing I think about.
interesting.
I like it though. It brings it all together.
So I saw that you guys had Neil Patrick Harris on, and I had to ask, how was that? What a! I want to listen to the episode, but we weren't sure which room was going to run, so I didn't listen. I didn't listen to it.
Oh, yeah,
yet.
sure.
Yeah, but
Yeah, so that was the episode 2 before this one in
Yeah.
our feed. Yeah, how was that? It was pretty great.
It was pretty phenomenal.
It was a little bit fun because by sheer coincidence, the room was a magician themed room. And so it's going into it going, okay, you know everything about magicianing. I don't know anything about magicianing, and I wrote this. This is going to be interesting.
How much is he going to be like, well, that's not how it works.
So that was legitimate coincidence then.
Just coincidence.
Full on coincidence. Granted,
my.
I did. That was the one that I had planned for the first episode that season. But I also said, you know what? I really like this room. I'd be happy to hold off and for something special.
But it worked out pretty
and then
special
it turned
anyway.
out, that one ended up being pretty special.
It seems like a pretty good reason.
Yeah, super cool. I'm not. I don't know a lot of famous names and stuff. I was scrolling through. It's like, oh, they had a lot of guests. Like, whoa, Neil Patrick Harris. Holy moly! That's great. Super cool. And now that we've done our room, I definitely want to check it out. Listen to it now. I listened to the
Yeah,
intro.
give it a listen, and you should go back and listen to this episode to see if you did better or worse than. Or then maybe give yourself a few weeks.
That would be interesting.
So you can relax.
Oh yeah, it's like,
but,
I know that. I know that.
Yeah, you get to be the person listening to the episode going, "No, you idiot! It's obviously this. You're so dumb."
How are you not
Although
following that? I totally saw 233. Come on.
Although you do run the risk of like listening to it and have the guest be like, "Well, that's obviously an acrostic. That spells ace potato leek satay. That's very clear."
Who wouldn't get that? And be like, I could think of somebody who wouldn't get it.
Just solves everything in 2 seconds. But no, thank you for having us on. That was great fun. I hope it was enjoyable to do. I hope it was enjoyable to listen to. It was enjoyable to do on our end. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was nice to be able to revisit the room and have another go. We
It's-
so rarely get to do this.
And it's fascinating going back to it because really I should look over my notes again before coming and doing these more than I do. But I don't. So I end up being surprised and just saying, man, I hope this works out. I'm pretty sure there was an acrostic in there. Hope I planned that out right.
Well, it went very, very
Yeah,
well.
I think it was very good. Y'all were both wonderful, so we really appreciate it.
Well, likewise.
Wonderful.
Yay. Okay.
Oh, well, should we give some information for people who want to try and find us?
Yes, please.
Yes, please do.
All right. So, if you enjoyed that and you want to hear more escape room things, we've got a backlog of like 90 episodes of escape rooms you can listen to. So you can find us by searching Escape This Podcast on pretty much
We'll
any
show up.
pod catching device that you've got. You can go to escapethispodcast.com where we're all there.
We respond to emails, sometimes slowly, but we respond to all of
Yeah,
them.
if you send us an email at escapethispod@gmail.com, we're on Twitter at eskthispodcast. We're on Instagram as Escape This Podcast. You should go and check it out. All the rooms that we have in our episodes are also free to play. So if you don't want to listen to our voice ever again, but you quite like the concept, you can just go to the show notes of any room that we've got, download the entire room notes,
go
and
find
run it
these-
yourself with friends. Play
Go
it
find
with
these
family.
bakery notes and run other people through it.
Yeah,
And
now that you've
you
listened
just
to the
do
bakery-
a huge, wide comparison of how everyone does with these puzzles.
Yeah, you can take on Danny's role and run it for anybody else. And that's all free, so come and check it out. And if you enjoy it, say hi and say that you came from this, and we'll know where you came from. And we can send a thank you note to Patrick and Becky.
And we will definitely link to everything in the show notes so you can easily find them as well. So if we want to make this a great, simple process, and definitely go check it out because what I've heard of them has been absolutely fantastic, and they were a pleasure to have on the show.
Oh, wonderful. Yes, we did it.
Yay!
It was so good. It was so much fun. Thank you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Bye!
Bye.
Bye! It's always so freeing knowing that you're in that little bit of the podcast that's going to get cut.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful.